So we have a pair of shoes here that's had a restoration attempt on them using the completely wrong products. They've used a very well-known brand of acrylic paints, which is what you shouldn't be using on any type of shoes, to be fair. In particular, this type of shoe. As you can clearly see, it's just, you know, with flexing and moving, you can see that the paint is just cracking and coming off. So we've got the restoration job now is to bring these shoes back to the Nubuck state that they were in previously, and not this acrylic finish that it's now got this horrible, very acrylic finish. They're like a Nubuck finish to them. And as you can clearly see here, we've removed, there's a little bit of paint just here, but we've removed the majority of the paint along this edge and on this section here and cleaned up the sort of darker black stroke blue area. But it was all along the soles of the shoes as well, and this is someone's favourite pair of shoes, and they're a beautiful pair of shoes. You know, they're obviously a Goretex finish and things, so we've got to try to protect and preserve these as best as we can and put a waterproofer back on them and remove all of this acrylic paint that's on the surface. So how we're doing that is we're using our Leather Prep solution to do that, and we're going to use a soft brass brush. So we're having to spray a small amount of solution on and very, very gently over the surface. You don't want to do this too rigorously. As you can see, it's just sort of like flaking it all off, as you can see, onto the cloth. It's just very, very, very gently rub this over the surface because of the Nubuck finish on them, so that we can remove all of that acrylic paint that's on there. Once these are dried out, they'll be back into a beautiful condition and we can fully waterproof them once again. But this is going to show you how we can remove. We're not rubbing hard on this. On here we can rub quite hard where it's on the sole, but on the actual shoe itself we're just very, very, very gently going over the surface to remove all of that acrylic paint from within the Nubuck fibres, so that we can get them back into a condition again, so that they can be waterproof fully again and used by the client. So as you can see, we're sort of removing, you can see it's taking off all the paint as well. So we can spray some onto the cloth and just wipe that over the surface again to help remove any smaller residue bits of the acrylic paint that's been put on there from this well-known brand, which should never have been used on these shoes to restore them. So very, very poor workmanship, unfortunately. You can see we're taking off all the dye that's been put on there, and it's obviously removing a small amount of the dye from within the Nubuck, but we can actually resolve all that as well. But it's just a matter of, it's a very slow process of going over the shoes and just continually cleaning them down. And then where you sort of see some areas, you might have to sort of just use a fingernail just to get off the little tiny bits that you see left stuck on in sort of difficult areas, especially around like stitching area and things. It's all in the stitching, as you can clearly see. It's all there within the stitching. So we need to reveal all that stitching and get all the acrylic paint out of those particular areas. And it's just a slow process of just going around, continuing to apply the Leather Prep solution, and very, very gently. We're not scrubbing hard here, I cannot emphasize that enough. With this being Nubuck, it's just very, very gently going over the surface. And you can see that now. It's actually revealed a stitch line along here, which we couldn't actually see previously. And we're just literally going over the surface very, very gently, and you can see it removing everything. It may sound quite bad, but obviously it's going over the surface with this is a very soft brass brush. So obviously with this being a Nubuck, for Nubuck and suede, you'd use a soft brass brush. Very difficult to say that, but that's the type of brush that you want to use. And again, just rub all that away and just leave them to naturally dry. And you can sort of see the differences there. As it is drying out, you can see where we've got all of that removed, and any little tiny bits, just get those out. But there's obviously some on the blue area there as well. But as you can see, that certainly, you can look around, and obviously on all the fabric here, there's big chunks of this acrylic paint, which is just flaking off. So as you can see, we've removed all of that. There's a tiny bit just there that we need to take off. But they feel, again, just beautiful and soft, as they should do, like it is on this side here, this beautiful sort of Nubuck finish with a waterproofer. We put like a little bit of waterproofer on here just to help them as we're going round. So you can sort of see that it's sort of put that sort of bit of waterproofness to it, giving it a little bit of a shine, which is exactly what we need to create. And we've removed obviously all the excess acrylic paint on this side. We've obviously got both shoes to do. As you can see, it's just, the whole thing is just flaking off. It's just awful stuff. So completely the wrong products to put on them. But again, we have done that with your LRC15 Leather Prep, soft brass brush, and a terry towel just to wipe away. If you need your shoes restoring or want proper care for them, please head on over to our website, leatherrepaircompany.com. We have an array of products to help you restore your shoes professionally, and products to clean them, protect them, waterproof them, and preserve them. Whether it's Nubuck or if it's full grain calfskin leather on a handmade pair of shoes, we have everything you need on the website. If you need any technical help or want to know how to do this, we have a training course for running shoes. Again, go onto the training course side of things on the website. You will find it all there. Any help you need, do not hesitate. Pick up the phone and ring, which is 01482 606 864. Any technical advice you need on email, help@leatherrepaircompany.com. Thank you very much, guys. We'll send some pictures up when it's all fully finished and ready to go back to the client.